Have you ever thought about creating an extra stream of income from the comfort of your own home? Well, here are 7 work-from-home side hustles that have the potential to make you hundreds of dollars per day in 2023. I've personally tried many of these side hustles myself, and have found quite a bit of success with them, making thousands of dollars. So I can tell you that these side hustles have the potential to make you a significant amount of money, and might just replace your day job if you're really successful with them. Trust me, if I can make money from these side hustles with no prior skills, and to be honest, not a whole lot of talent either, then I know for a fact that you can as well. What I'm not going to be talking about are those side hustles that are gimmicky or mind-numbing in nature, like filling out surveys for cash or transcribing on rev.com, where you realistically only make something like $8 a day. The side hustles I'm going to be sharing with you are ones that are proven to work, and most of them can be scaled into full-blown businesses. Real quick though, please make sure to drop this video a like and subscribe to my channel. It genuinely helps me out a lot. Let's get right into it. Side hustle number 1, freelance video editing. Video editors work with content creation teams to turn raw camera footage into amazing looking videos. This is a great side hustle because you can land very lucrative editing jobs without needing one of these things. You also don't need any previous professional experience. However, you will need to build a portfolio of your work and gain expertise across software such as Adobe Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro. These softwares are really easy to learn through watching videos on YouTube and with practice. Video editing is genuinely one of those skills that you can learn pretty easily online. In fact, all of my videos are edited by someone that is a self-taught editor, and that someone happens to be my husband, in case you're wondering. I think he does a pretty decent job, and if you can dedicate more time than he does to learning about video editing, you can definitely reach a higher skill level than him. Once you build a small portfolio of high quality editing work, you can create accounts and market yourself on freelance websites such as Fiverr and Upwork. On Upwork, video editors are charging anywhere from around $20 an hour up to $200 an hour, and a lot of them are making a substantial amount of money on these websites despite having no professional experience whatsoever. Take for example Paulina, who describes herself as a self-taught editor and is charging $45 an hour with total earnings of over $20,000. Let's imagine that you become a freelance video editor, and after gaining more experience, you're able to begin charging $45 an hour. If you were to work 8 hours a day, Monday to Friday, you would be making over $7,500 a month. And with video editing, there is definitely potential to make even more money than this, with many editors on Upwork charging 3 figures an hour and in total making hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's also common for freelance editors on Upwork to be hired exclusively by clients such as big YouTubers that are looking for a dedicated editor, and these editors are typically paid extremely well for their valuable skill sets. Side hustle number 2, starting a YouTube channel. YouTube remains one of the best side hustles to start in 2023, and the potential with YouTube is absolutely massive, which is why this is a side hustle I'm working on right now. The great thing about YouTube channels and the income you can make from it is that your earnings tend to compound in growth very quickly. I've watched a lot of videos where creators break down how much they've made throughout their YouTube career, and it usually goes something like this. In the first few months, you don't make anything at all. Then you find yourself making a few $100s a month, and then not too long after that, you can make thousands of dollars, or technically even millions of dollars if your channel is large enough. To be able to make money on YouTube, you need to have a minimum of 1,000 subscribers and at least 4,000 hours of watch time. The amount you get paid depends on the type of content you make, since it all depends on what advertisements YouTube places on your videos. But for most channels, you can usually expect to make around $5 for every 1,000 views you get. What I like about this side hustle is that it is genuinely fun, because you can pick something that you enjoy and make videos about that topic. The key to success is really just finding the motivation to keep making videos even when you're not making any money at the start, which is why it really helps if you love the content you make. In 2023, the barrier to entry to becoming a full-time YouTuber is higher than it was before. Long gone are the days where you could record yourself on your computer's fuzzy webcam and expect to go viral. I remember my first videos were so bad, and I was pretty awkward on camera, and my set design and overall production quality was pretty poor. And as you might have expected, my videos weren't performing too well. I was maybe getting 10 to 20 views per video. Since then, I would like to think that I've gotten a little bit better. In 2023, to be successful on YouTube, you're most likely going to need a high quality camera, and you're also going to need more equipment, such as a great microphone for audio, lighting equipment, a solid laptop to edit on, and if you're filming at home, a good quality background set for your videos. But I think that if you can nail down all of these different variables whilst consistently creating entertaining or informative videos, then I think your chances of making thousands of dollars a month on YouTube are more likely to happen than not to happen, if that makes sense. Side hustle number 3, starting a short-form content agency. Short-form video platforms like TikTok have exploded in popularity over the past few years, and with that has come demand for businesses, brands, and content creators to have a presence on these platforms. Short-form content agencies create or repurpose long-form content videos into short 10 to 60-second videos to be posted on platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. You might have seen creators in the entrepreneurial space like Alex Hormozi that have completely blown up recently on platforms like TikTok. Creators like Alex Hormozi record long-form content such as YouTube videos and then pay short-form content agencies to repurpose these long-form videos into quick, engaging, bite-sized versions for platforms like TikTok and YouTube Shorts. There is a ton of potential with this side hustle right now because most YouTubers and podcasters are not creating short-form content, but they really want to be. They just simply haven't had the time to figure out the unique editing style that's required to have success with the algorithms on these platforms. You can learn and master this unique editing style and sell this service to people like YouTubers or even businesses that desperately want a presence on platforms like TikTok. One thing you can do to get started on this side hustle is to find a big YouTuber that isn't currently making short-form content. You can download one of their recent YouTube videos, repurpose it into an engaging short-form video with text, and email them your edited video. There's a chance they could really like what you've created and sign up with you on a monthly retainer for you to repurpose all of their videos into short-form content. I've had a few people reach out to me over email to make short-form content for my channel, and honestly, when my channel gets a little larger and I have the funds to be able to pay a short-form editor, I'll definitely take someone up on their offer. Overall, I think that starting a short-form content agency in 2023 is an opportunity similar to how starting a Facebook ads agency was 5 years ago. It's a great time to start, and people are already making well into the 4-figure range a month doing this. Side hustle number 4. Renting out your space on Airbnb. My specific Airbnb strategy is one that I haven't really seen in other videos on YouTube, and I think it's because most people assume that you need a separate investment property to make money on Airbnb. Contrary to what you might think, most people can take advantage of Airbnb and you don't actually need a separate rental property. You can even use your own home or apartment even while you still live in it. If you have spare bedrooms, you can rent out each of these spare rooms individually. I know of someone that is doing this right now. She's a retired mom living in a house, and now that all of her kids have moved out of the house, she has several spare bedrooms available, and she's putting these empty rooms to good use by renting them out, and she's making a lot of money doing this. I know that in my area, you can rent out a private room for around $45 a night, and on average, it will be booked for around 17 days of the month. So that would be an extra $700 to $800 a month for just one room. And you can also charge a cleaning fee to the guest so that you can afford to pay for a cleaner to clean up in between stays. But you can always clean the room yourself and keep the cleaning fee, since it will probably only take 15 minutes or so to clean. Another unique way that anyone can make money on Airbnb is by making your home available for booking at times when you know you're going to be out of the house. For example, you might know that you're going to be away from home because you're visiting family for Christmas for a few weeks. Like I said, I had never heard of anyone using this specific Airbnb strategy before, but I decided to try it for myself when I was planning on making a trip to visit my in-laws in England. I had booked the trip to England for a whole month, so a month or two before I left, I decided to list my apartment on Airbnb, and I also hired my friend to clean my temporary Airbnb while I was away. During the month I was away from home, I was able to make $1,300, which was actually more than enough to offset my monthly cost of rent, which was $1,200. And what's crazy is that I wasn't living in a tourist destination area, and my apartment wasn't particularly nice, and I was still able to charge around $50 a night. You have to start taking advantage of this side hustle, because even if you only list your residence on Airbnb when you're away on a weekend trip visiting family a few times a year, you could easily make thousands of extra dollars per year. Side hustle number 5, food photography. This is a side hustle that I have experience doing myself. And before you think, I don't know anything about photography, so this isn't for me, I didn't know anything about photography either. I had never even used a professional camera before or done any type of skilled photography when I started learning food photography. The first pictures that I took of food definitely were not the best, but after only a few weeks and a little bit of research, I had gotten much better. Right now, there's a massive opportunity to sell food photography as a service to restaurants, since most restaurants do a pretty poor job of taking pictures of their food. Think about when you go to any restaurant that isn't a giant franchise. The food on the menu often looks terrible, even though the food itself is probably pretty good. Many restaurants also promote themselves, or should be promoting themselves, on social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok. They could have tens of thousands of followers and still continue to post pictures like this. Food photography was just a hobby for me at first, but I saw this opportunity and decided to market my food photography skills to local restaurants, showing restaurant owners how much better I can make their food appear and how that will result in more profits for the owner. My first client was a cheesecake shop. I walked into the shop, gave the owner a firm handshake, and said I'm the best person for this job. No, I'm totally kidding. I definitely did not take the boomer approach, but I did walk into the shop and showed them my food photography portfolio, and I ended up signing them on for a few $100s a month. I really underpriced myself because I was just getting started, but you can expect to charge $500 to over $1,000 per month for most restaurants. The job itself consisted of picking up cheesecake once a week, shooting the product back at my apartment, and sending the owners the pictures online. All in all, it only took a few hours per month, so the money I was making on an hourly basis was still very good, despite underpricing my work. Also, I did get to keep all of the cheesecake, so this side hustle definitely comes with its perks. And this turned out to be a great investment for the cheesecake shop, because not only did they receive increased engagement on their social media posts, but they were also spending a lot of marketing dollars on Instagram and Facebook ads, whilst using pictures like this. So when they started using the pictures I was taking for them in their ads, it was no surprise that the ads performed better. Overall, I think this is a side hustle that not many people talk about, but it has a ton of potential since there is a massive demand for food photography, but not a lot of people offering the service. It's a no-brainer for restaurant owners that better pictures of their food will result in more sales, so it is relatively easy to sell this service to business owners. Side hustle number 6, dropshipping. If you've seen side hustle or passive income type videos before, then you probably know about this one. Dropshipping is an online business where a seller sells products on their website that they don't actually have in stock. Dropshipping has gotten a bad rap in recent years because of 15-year-old kids flexing their parents' Lamborghinis, claiming to be dropship millionaires, and telling you that you need to buy their course for $497 to learn how to be as rich as they are. A lot of dropshipping gurus out there on the internet are clearly faking their earnings just so they can make more money through selling courses to you. But dropshipping does actually work well still, even though it is more saturated than it was a few years ago. Let me give you a little example of how dropshipping works. Let's say I'm wanting to buy one of those cool hanging patio chairs. So I search and find this one on eBay that's selling for over $400. However, if I were to do a little more research and copy the item description and paste it directly into Google search, guess what pops up as the first result? Walmart. It turns out the exact same chair is being sold at Walmart for more than $100 cheaper. And that's because the eBay seller doesn't actually have this patio chair in stock. They're just drop shipping it. If I were to purchase the chair on eBay for over $400, the seller would simply go and purchase the chair from Walmart for the cheaper price of $297 and then send the item directly from Walmart to my address and profit the difference. Dropshipping is a very accessible side hustle because the startup costs are minimal since you don't buy the product until you've received the sale first on your website for the higher price. And I think that dropshipping has even more potential in 2023 since there are even more creative ways now to advertise your products on the internet for free, such as making a TikTok page that shows off your product in a fun or interesting way and then linking your product's website in your bio. Side hustle number 7. Graphic design. What graphic designers do is design any visuals a company might need, such as logos, product packaging, infographics, and social media images. This side hustle shares similarities to the video editing one since everything you need to learn to become an expert in this field is available online completely for free. I recommend building a strong portfolio and developing expertise across softwares such as Adobe Creative Suite, and once again, marketing your services on freelance websites such as Fiverr and Upwork. This side hustle is great for you if you have a creative eye, and you can really forge a whole career out of it and have the potential to make a very high income as you gain more experience. But in order to build wealth, you can't just rely on making a high income. You won't believe this, but 49% of people making above 6 figures per year live paycheck to paycheck. So if you want to get your finances under control so that you can finally start building wealth, then you need to watch this video I made on how to stop living paycheck to paycheck.